which again, we see how where that has taken us. I don't want to get political here, but these are just some of the answers to that question. And I think it's fair. But then again, if one is able to, like I said, to suspend some of all those things that we were socialized into believing, and just think of it in a more intellectual way, in a way that makes sense, it might open up the minds a bit.
All right. Now, Gloria, I want you to tell me something about this. Why is there a negative connotation to this traditional belief or belief system in Africa, talking about ancestors, for example? Because, like where I'm coming from, which is Esa,
Mm.
I repeat again, from the south of Nigeria, the term ancestors is um, almost automatically seen as negative. Speaking
Mm.
of today,
Mm.
but it
Yeah.
has not always been like this. Why? How did we get to this point?
Well, the easy, simple answer would be to say colonization. But okay, that opens up a whole new conversation. And I would love to hear what other people might think. I mean, again, like I'm a good poster child to show that the two things can live together. I am a reverend. I'm an ordained minister, and I'm also an ancestral healing practitioner. But I've received a lot of hostility and resistance from my wonderful Christian brothers and sisters, and I've initially I was very disturbed by it because I thought, what is it that you're upset about? And I asked them, I would say, okay, if I say, if you're able to just suspend all of the myths, and you may call whatever you consider them, if you can just suspend it for 1 minute, when you think of ancestors, like you were saying in the beginning, Obehi, what does it mean to you? Your uncle, your auntie, your brother, your sister who has passed, you realize those are your ancestors. So make it make sense to me that you're saying honoring those people who you mention in a day-to-day basis. Most of the people in conversations will make reference to their grandma, to their auntie. So I said, you're honoring them. So if you just don't realize that's what you're doing. So are you telling me now that to honor those people is something bad, is something to be afraid of? Who told you that? Who taught you that? And again, if you trace it back, when Christianity came to us, part of the way of making Christianity stick was to make Africans turn their backs on their own traditional ways. Which again, we see how where that has taken us. I don't want to get political here, but these are just some of the answers to that question. And I think it's fair. But then again, if one is able to, like I said, to suspend some of all those things that we were socialized into believing, and just think of it in a more intellectual way, in a way that makes sense, it might open up the minds a bit. I would love to hear what other people think about this.
All right, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And soon we will hear some people, as some people already, some individual already ask you to join the room. But just before then, before I pass the microphone on
Mm.
there, I want us to remember, and like you were saying, that when we talk of ancestors, we are talking of those who were sharing life together some minutes ago. Just that now they have transitioned. They are no longer in the physical experience that we are living in. They are living in a different experience, so they are no longer with us. So we are honoring them in this sense. But it is not only us, Africa, that honor our ancestors. Every people in the world do the same. I think what happened is that The European told us that we can also honor ancestors, but we should honor their ancestors because their ancestors are the good one. Our are bad, so we should forget them. Now, let me explain. I have been a member of the Roman Catholic Church for a very long time. In the Roman Catholic Church, there is what we refer to as saint. But what is saint? Saint are people who are dead, who you are now praying through them to reach God so that they can intervene for you. If that is not ancestor worshiping, then I don't know what we are talking about.
Okay.
So now, if we take it away from there, look at maybe, for example, in the political realm, or let's look at currency, for example. If you take a dollar bill or any other currency that you are using, whose image do you see there? These are dead people. But because we don't want to forget them, we put their name, their images there so that we use it all the time. We don't forget them. Because we don't live in vacuum. We live in experience. We want to make sure that we remember this. That is why we build monuments. That is why in the museum we make sure that their names are always there. But the difference is that we as Africans are told to forget our own because our own are evil. Because if you walk around in Africa, in African countries, I can speak of Nigeria, for example, because both of you and I are coming from Nigeria. How many monuments of our heroes do we see on the ground that are molded that you can see and go to the statue and really like reverend? Does it mean that our people are not holy? Even in the Catholic Church, very few people are regarded as holy of African descent. Even though they are Catholic, we practice the same thing, we worship the same God, we do it even according to them. But when they pray, we only pray through St. Michael, St. Gabriel, St. Anthony, St. Andrew. All these are people of European origin. They are qualified to be saint, but they are actually ancestors because they have been the father of somebody, but now they have transitioned. So we can pray through them.